But when you're looking at what this does to the states in general, obviously the country was set up in order to have laboratories of ideas around the country, different ideas tried different ways. They're moving so much to a nationalist model where one size fits all in all the applications of these programs. So what ends up happening, the states have to jump through hoops in order to obtain federal dollars. And now they're excited to obtain federal dollars instead of leery and hands off and wanting to handle things themselves. This filters down, for instance, in mortgages. You have all of the mortgage rescue programs at the federal level that they've been trying to do in order to prop up the housing market. Well, why would that be? Because most state and municipal governments have some form of property tax as funding.
This is a prime example of a bunch of waste and a bunch of cronyism and subsidies to rich folks who are developing buildings and not helping the poor that it's intended to help. This is a government transfer of wealth from people paying taxes to rich developers. Phil is not taking the simple answer here, and he's challenging his audience to look deeper at the issue. He's got links, but he's also describing the statistics that he's seeing in the report. And then he gets to about 4 minutes and 50 seconds in where he's leading into the State of the Union. But again, I want to get this out as clear as I can, and I don't know that I have yet. I think it all depends on whether you are looking for an amen or an aha. That's a big difference. If you're looking for an amen, you're going to a place that's largely identifiable as like-minded people, and that's good. And there's a purpose for that, and there's a place for that, and there's a reason to create those spaces. But if you're looking for an aha, put an idea in someone's head that hasn't been there before, you might want to find some different identifier that will not keep people from coming to exchange ideas or to have that conversation. I've had a theory for a long time that when Brass brings up on a regular basis why there's no conservative Daily Show, that anyone who attempted from a rightward end of the spectrum to recreate something like the Daily Show, there's a contingent on the right who has ghettoized themselves in what they consume to the point where they would find it insufficiently conservative and it would not be competitive in the general market if it were labeled the conservative Daily Show or something like that.
So, and I think you bring up a great point when you talk about the primary in Texas, the Cruz-Dewhurst contest.
Right.
Because in a lot of states, the districts are drawn, and this was a statewide race, but think about this as applied on a congressional level.
Yeah, and most of our candidates are congressional candidates who've signed.
The districts are drawn so that the primary is the general election, essentially. That's all over the country.
Gerrymandering.
And people complain why this or that congressperson can't be gotten out of office regardless of how reprehensible they are. It's because they're not designed to be allowed to be thrown out of office. That seat belongs to that party.